My name is Francis Kabinu Lugolovi. I'm with my brother Rutembana Edson. We are going to talk about financial planning. This is Financial Vibes, and we're talking about financial planning. There is beginning. We're in January, and many of us plan or discuss or talk about issues concerning our personal economics during the first month of the year. Previously, I did a lot of building contracting, and there is something which was very peculiar, my brother, which was most of the clients I had didn't want to know the full budget of the houses they are going to build. They didn't want to know. They were afraid of the big amounts. All they wanted to know was the first phase. How much is foundation? How much is wall construction? How much is roofing? How much is plastering? So they wanted the plan in bits. They were afraid of having the full plan. That's something I noted about many Ugandans when it comes to planning. And two, there's another thing I noted. Many people, or many of us, are used to living from day to day without any planning. So whenever I talk to people about planning, I'll tell them that you need to sit down and plan and ABCD. But then they will tell me that, but I've been living for years, eating well, dressing well, taking my kids to school and all that, without any plans, and I've been surviving. So you are an economist. Why should someone plan? Why should they start planning today? Yet they haven't been planning for the past 10, 20 or 30 years.
Okay, why I think the most important part of planning is it gives us like an estimate of the things that we're supposed to do. So like they say that a budget is a financial plan. So when you're planning as human beings, we don't see what is going to happen tomorrow. But using using history, we can easily predict what is going to happen tomorrow. And as a human being or as a company, whatever that you do, you need to make those projections, or you need to make those predictions that I need to do this is what I need. Because when you plan, it makes your journey much easier. For example, if you want to move from point A to point B, there's a defined route. But now that defined route, you find there are hills, there are slopes, there are corners. So when you plan earlier before you start moving, it helps you to know that when I reach here, I'm going to increase speed. When I reach here, I'm going to reduce speed. It also helps you to estimate how much fuel you need to move with. Because when you just move without any prior planning, then you get stuck along the way. So the reason why we plan is that it helps us to keep in check in whatever we wanted to do.
Okay, there is something you mentioned about companies or businesses planning also. Now, many ordinary individuals think that it's only businesses or organizations which should plan, or nations, that the means of planning or financial plan for the nation. A company should plan, but then individuals like you and me don't need to plan. What's your take on that?
Yeah, the one, personal finance, because whereas companies have their financials, their resources, you as an individual, you also have your resources. You also need to plan for yourself, then you also need to plan for your family. Now, one of the things that people have that perception of why should I plan is because of the, can I call it, financial literacy. And I think people need to be trained in some of those things, or need to be guided. Because people say that me as an individual, I do not need to plan just because of the limited information they have. But then when you get like an expert, and then he takes you the reasons why you should plan and how you should do it, the advantages, then it becomes an important thing to do in someone's life. And actually, when you plan, one thing I can tell you that it helps people manage their finances very well, because when you do planning, then you know where you're going to spend money. So it stops you, or it guides you not to just to exaggerate or overspend your resources.
Okay. Now, you talked about historical data or information helping us in making today's plans. So, for example, if I'm to make a plan for 2026, I need information maybe for the past 3 years. Many times you economists tell us that we need to look at maybe at least 3 years in the past. Then the average information should inform us on how to plan for this year, for example. So the challenge now we have is that when it comes to organizations or companies, they usually have that historical information and data. But when it comes to individuals, people just estimate how much money they spend on feeding, on clothing, on what. They don't have accurate historical information. So how well can someone plan without the historical information? Or maybe does someone need to first start collecting information before they start planning, or they can start planning as they collect the information?
Now, in accounting, the first point is record keeping. So even as an individual, it is a habit that someone should actually start developing. Of course, now with the technology nowadays, with the phones that we have, it's something that is very easy. You can start recording your daily, monthly expenditure. You know that maybe in a month I spent this on transport. In a month I spend this on food. In a month I spend this things like rent, those ones are defined. Now when you start collecting that data, and this is actually a discipline that you have to build over time. Every time you spend money, you record. Every time you spend money, you record. So
even earning, every time you earn money, you record.
Yeah, because eventually you're going to compare your incomes and your expenditure. So now every time you're recording your transactions, one, it helps you to monitor your expenditure. You realize that you actually be able to analyze the items where you're spending most of your money. Then number two, I'll give an example. The importance of historical data. Let's say if you have a car and you repaired, maybe you changed your tires 3 years ago. Now you want to change your tires again. You can visit how much you paid for your tires. Yes. So the historical data also helps for reference. It helps you to always remember that when I had this issue, this is how much I spent. So then you can plan accordingly. So the entry point where you have to start from is that discipline of recording. And actually right now there are so many online apps that can actually help you record your expenditure. So today is 24th. You can start. Maybe now one of the things that you can do on one of these YouTube podcasts, you can just get like the basic apps, take people through how to download it, then how to record, and then you show people.
Actually, there is an app, a very simple app called Zoho Books, and I landed on it about 2 years ago. And that app is very easy to use, even for non-accountants and non-economists. You download it, then you can record your incomes and expenditures properly. Now, lastly, I just want to ask you something about the income and expenditure, because the planning we are going to do this year is about the cash inflows, or the resources which are incoming, and the resources which are outgoing, or the expenditure. Now, what should come first in planning? Should you first plan your income before you plan your expenditure, so that your expenditure fits with the income? Or should you first look at what you want to spend on, then you look for the sources of the money that's going to supply the expenses? What comes for is it the cart or the horse? What comes first?
Now that is actually a debate, and I would not say that
Your
it's
final
cast
answer is cast in stone.
So some people know their income, because some people have
maybe salary,
salary, fixed income. So they budget their income according. So they budget the expenditure according to the income. Whereas there are some people who have moving income, more flexible income, like business
especially
people.
business people. Yeah.
So there, you don't know how much you're going to earn in a month. But then sometimes maybe your expenditure can also be easily estimated. So what they usually do is that for them, they now budget, they plan for their income according to the expenditure they have. For example, if your expenditure is 1 million, that means you need to make income which is more than 1 million for you to be able to what? To stay afloat. So it's the other way around. It's okay. It's whatever that you plan, you can. Then also sometimes, let's say you're a salary earner, and maybe your income is not sufficient. So it's even high time that when you do such plans, it can help you to look for moonlighting opportunities. What can I do after 5 o'clock?
To match your expenses.
Yes. Yeah. What can I do over the weekend? Then I also forgot to mention one thing. Whereas we are talking about individuals, now in Uganda we have a challenge of the informal sector, which is close to 70% of our economy. Now the informal sector fear URA. In fact, every time someone is in business in the informal sector, one of his worst enemies is URA. But that comes from one thing: poor record keeping. Because for them, they already think that URA will come and take over money. But you know where that comes from? Because they are not recording or documenting what
income and expenditure.
Because URA just take 30% of your profit. So if you're recording your incomes and expenditure properly, then you're able to determine how much profit you've made, and then you pay that
according to the profit you made.
Yes, according to the profit you made. But because most informal sector businesses, these SMEs, because they don't have that track of their income and expenditure, now even if you ask them, they will not be able to tell how much they have made in a year. So
and it also fails them in planning. So because they're not keeping the records, so they're not planning. They can't plan because they don't have historical data.
And this is actually, you know now, like as accountants, this is one thing that actually, as Christian accountants, we need to be getting off time and do volunteer work for people that maybe are close to us. If you can just go and offer free services, the free consultancy services, so you show this business where you always buy your groceries from, and you reach out to the owner, you like, buy the boss, I can offer for you free services, and with time, if this person is actually
create social awareness,
free of charge, because you see the knowledge that you have already, you're already earning from wherever you're doing it.
And this guy can't afford to pay you. Maybe you can give him something. You can give him the knowledge for free.
Yes, for free. For free. And eventually when this person grows, because you know, business growth is also determined by how financially this person is, and you cannot know how financially well this company is when you're not keeping proper books of accounts. So when you offer free services, as like you, what can I say? Whereas these people go preach the gospel, now for you can also go and do that work free of charge, or maybe on a Sunday or Saturday. You support this person by helping him out to do bookkeeping, prepare financial statements, and organize his business. That would be something very good.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother. We've looked at financial planning for individuals, for organizations, and at the end of it, we're looking at the informal sector, which doesn't keep records, rarely keeps records, and they don't also plan because they don't keep records. And we've ended on a very good note. The note being that we as Christian accountants, we should help these people. By the way, personally, I have a company called Bread and Grow Business Home, and we have that policy for workers in markets and those who don't have enough money to fund our accounting services, our tax accounting, our financial planning, our financial reporting, and teaching them about the ABCD of business management and record keeping. We offer free services for those who are near to us.
I thought you charge Bread and Grow. I thought you charge
Bread and Grow charges those who can afford, but then we've been offering services to schools, to circles, to small women's organizations, to market vendors and traders, to retail shops which can't afford our services.
By the way, guys, as you wind up, I wanted to throw in this question to you. When we hear about planning, we the lay people, isn't it? We think that only those who have too much money, too many things, are the ones who should plan. There are those of us, I have only 100 shillings, 1,000 shillings. Does that concern me, planning? Does planning concern me?
I think from what the economist told us, that planning
how much
does not depend on how much. It depends on whether there is something, because whenever you have resources, if you do not plan on how, when, and when to use those resources, then you are either going to misuse the resources or you're going to use, for example, if you have 10,000 Ugandan shillings, if you don't plan for it, and that's the only amount of money you're going to have for the whole of the week. If you don't plan for it, you may find that it's going to last you 2 days. But if you plan for it, it's going to last you the whole 7 days until you get the next 10,000. So planning is irrespective of how much you earn or have. Otherwise, we thank you so much for listening to us and watching us. This is Financial Vibes. I've been with my brother and economist Rutembana. Catch you next time.